Assalamu alaikum. This is my second video to continue on from where I left at last video regarding the most controversial verse in the Holy Quran, that is verse number 34, surah number 4, An-Nisa 34. Now, I have ended by saying that the most or the best translation that has really come closer to the original Arabic is to translate الرجال قوامون على النساء, which often, by the way, translated as being men are superior to female or to woman. But rather, I'll explain to shortly that this is not the case, and this is absolutely taken this particular verse out of context. Not only out of context, actually is influenced by cultural factors. But rather, the Quran is very clear that this meaning is not valid, but rather to say men are morally responsible for female. Men are morally responsible for female. Because the word qawamuna, it comes from the tri-letter word qama. Qawamuna is a plural of qama in the masculine sense. And qama in Arabic is to mean to perform, to uphold in the best way possible a particular duty. We say normally, for example, قام المعلم بواجبه. The teacher have performed his duty. Or قام المدير بواجبه. The manager have performed his duty in the best way possible, and so on and so forth. So qama is to perform, to maintain, to uphold. All these various meanings really condensed in this particular word qawwamuna, which is a plural of qama. Now the best way to ensure this meaning I'm adopting is valid is from the Quran itself. And I will relate to you two verses that have employed the exact word of qawamuna or qawamina. Qawamuna and qawamina are the same exactly, but because of the grammatical position in the statement. But they're both plural, and they both they could be masculine or they could be feminine. So the other two verses which confirm the meaning that qawamuna should mean really protector, maintainers, to honor, to uphold, to do the moral duty. That is the verse number in Surah An-Nisa, the same Surah of An-Nisa, verse number 35, and also Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 8. Now these are, number 135 is as follows. Number 35 is, O you who believe, be maintainers of justice. The translation is not bad actually. Be maintainers of justice. Here, maintainers is opposite to, not opposite, I meant it's a translation of qawwamina. Qawwamina is exact word of in the Surah 34, verse 34. Qawwamina is the same because of the grammatical position of it. So here, Allah is saying us in verse 135, all you who believe, this is a moral call upon mankind. All who you believe, be maintainers of justice. Justice or al-qist in the Arabic means equity, fairness to others. So be maintainers of that, upholding justice wherever you are. So God is saying this is a moral obligation upon us to maintain, to uphold fairness in all aspects of life. So the same thing, we go back to the verse 34 in Surah 4. Allah says, الرجال قوامون على النساء. Men are maintainers or morally responsible of female. And the other one is also in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 8, where it says, "O you who believe," again a moral call to mankind, "O you who believe, be maintainers as witnesses for the sake of Allah of justice." Same idea, same meaning of the 135 in the Nisa. And then if you take all the derivatives of the root word qama in the entire Quran, you will always see a common thread overall in the meanings of that particular term. That is to mean, is to perform. It's got nothing to do with leadership, rulership, control over somebody. It just rather in the context of moral obligation of performing an act. We saw the moral obligation of performing, maintaining, of justice, equity, fairness, as we saw those two verses, and also and throughout the Quran, it's always as a call, an emphasis to perform the prayer. Also, the root word was used, or the derivative of the root word, qama, said yuqimuna as-salat, those who perform and maintain, morally, of course, because God doesn't force us to perform the prayers. It's moral obligation on us to perform the prayers. الذين يقومون الصلاة. And other verses as well, we could check it in your, I'm just going to give maybe the numbers. You could write them down as we speak. For example, we have, I said once again, An-Nisa 135, Al-Ma'idah verse number 8. And there are many other verses really in the Quran that talks about to perform and to maintain of some moral act, some religious act as well, or any human act towards others in the sequence or in the context of good acts. Now the verse moves on after the saying that the rijalu are responsible or maintainers or honor, to protect, and so on and so forth, the female and the family, whether it's a sister or whether it's a wife or an aunt or any female. And the reason is given why this particular kind of moral commandment, if you will, was placed on man to offer to woman. That's obviously, it appeared to be very positive towards female, not a negative as many classical commentators have presented to us. So what does the verse say? That because there are differences in the blessings are given to each one of them. Not the blessings given better than each one of them. Rather, the preference is applicable on both. Because the verse says, because of the advantage, that's one translation. I wouldn't say advantage, because of the blessings, I would say. Because of the blessings is given to some over the others, or to each one of them over the others. In other words, the blessings have been given to both sides, but in different ways, different capacities. So no one can claim that they have been given and the other side not been given. No, both sides have been given, but different capacities, different roles. So, but whatever the man has been given, obviously, it carries with it a responsibility to protect, honor the female in some aspect. So that is still positive towards female, because it's just the burden falls on the man side, not on the female. And the advantage, let's say if we say the advantage, because fadala, it means it's a gain of something extra, but each one of them have gained something, have been given something over the other, meaning there are some traits and blessings was given to man, suitable for his being, for his anatomy, to play a role in the society. And the female also was given something which the man was not given. So the man was given something, but the female was not given of that thing. But also the female was giving of a blessing, but the man was not given of those blessings. So they both have been given, but because the man, whatever the man has been given, it merits a responsibility, not a freebie. And that responsibility is to protect, to honor, to provide for the female, because the female, whatever has been given, there is a different role for her in the society, which the man cannot actually attain or do based on what he has been given. So everyone was given something. No one can claim that I've been given more than you, because the verse clearly says each party have been given something over the other. So there is kind of equal and balance in here. But whatever the man has been given, it merits to use it to protect the female. And the female, whatever she has been given, it does not merit her to protect the man. That's, in fact, it's a blessing for the female, because whatever the female was given, it doesn't require her to commit that which was given to serve the man. Not at all. But the man is the opposite. The man, whatever he has been given as a blessing, it has to be used in the cause of serving the woman. That's what the wording of the Arabic says. So there is no superiority of anybody here. So two reasons was given. Whatever had been given, the blessings differs between the two, as I said, and also from the wealth that is being spent from one to over the other, or being attained. We all know that on an ideal situation, in most society, the general speaking, that men usually are more pursuant to gain wealth and get jobs and so on. But doesn't go freebie. He has to commit that wealth to serve the woman. So it's a win-win situation for the female, but a losing situation for the male. So now, this is the rule, and the Quran laid down the foundation of how to run a family. These are the foundation was laid down by this verse, then the first segment of the verse, and this is by default, in a natural way. But doesn't mean that the female may not take the role of the man in the family, because there is nothing in the verse to prevent otherwise. The female, or suggest otherwise, that the female cannot take the role of a man in the house from protection and so on. Maybe the man not able to perform these duties for some forcible reasons. I will continue, inshallah, on this verse in my next video. Until then, thank you.